Hello and welcome to this week on
The Guinness Guys. This week we are drinking the Poor Man's Black Velvet.
If any of you were watching last week's episode, you would have known that we did the official Black Velvet with Guinness and Champagne, which is obviously our pre-budget 2012 episode.
And this week we're doing the Poor Man's Black Velvet, which is the post-budget 2012. So anyway, this is made with Guinness, as usual, which is the 4.2%.
And Bulmer's Irish Cider, which is 4.5%.
So, as per usual, we're going to start with the guest beer. I did see something interesting about this on one of the recipe websites for this. Now, this isn't on the Wikipedia page, but I did see it on another page, which was what you're supposed to do is beat the air out of it. So what you do is you essentially take the pint, and you can do this with a piece of tin foil, to do it quickly, or just take a spoon and just pick it up and just whip until all the CO2 comes out of it. And the idea behind that is that it'll foam up less when you pour the Guinness, but we haven't done that with any of the others, so I'd like to do it this way. So I'll get started now with the little Guinness cans, because you get two different pours if you use one can. We thought it better to use two cans. Yeah, a lot of foam. Whipping the air out might not have been a bad idea. A lot of foam too. I got a little less. Some layering there. Let's lift that up there. There's a little bit of layering. It seems to be Guinness, then a kind of reddier, so black at the top, then red, then the golden cider color. Just a note, this is Bulmer's Irish Cider. If you're in the north and you get Magners, it's the same thing, as far as I'm aware. But we probably should have beaten the air out of the CO2 out of this. That might have been a pretty good idea. But I think we'll just cut here for a minute and see can we have this settle down, and then we'll be back to do the rest.
Okay, now that we've cleaned everything up and sorted our pints, on to the visual test.
So first on the visual, pretty creamy, well, a bit creamy Guinness as usual. We have a layering. It's a little less distinct than some of them. I think Eamon's is better than mine. Yeah. It's definitely a little layering happening there.
The great thing is there's really a nice ruby colour.
Yeah, it's a very red colour up top. And it gets slightly, about this much here is pure red, and then this goes a little red yellow, and then it's just yellow at the bottom, so it looks quite nice. Now the smell test.
Yeah, I'm getting a nice kind of bitter apple smell there.
It is kind of...
it's a nice mix.
It is actually, yeah.
This could be quite good.
Got some high hopes for this one. It's usually you get that big saccharine sweet thing off cider.
Yeah.
Especially this, I think Bulmer's is a pretty dry cider. Yeah. So you usually get that huge appley sweetness thing that's kind of off-putting, but this smells quite pleasant. It smells nice and muted. It smells like apple pie with a bit of cinnamon or something.
Yeah. It's almost as even as the Guinness and Harp.
Yeah, the Guinness and Harp was even. This smells even. I think it's time to take the plunge and taste
the Poor Man's Black Velvet. It's really nice.
It reminds a lot of the one last week, but the more positive aspects of it, the fruity sweetness.
Yeah. Because
it had the fruity grapeness, but it also had that. Last week had the fruity grapeness, but it was also very dry and very strong and pungent. This is pretty pleasant.
Yeah.
The apple's knocked down quite a lot, and usually the appliness is what I do. Mine feels great. That's the nice cidery carbonation on it.
It's very smooth for something that has a very fizzy cider in it.
Wow, this is immediately impressive. Looks good, smells good. It doesn't taste like an apple, it tastes like apple pie. And when you know a good dense baked apple pie. Nice and sweet. The Guinness lends this
cinnamon quality, like you said.
Well, like cinnamon quality, maybe. It's not like a taste of cinnamon, but it's that kind of density of food. That I think the Guinness is adding a barley thing, which is like, I suppose, the pie crust, and then the cider is the filling, really. So let's score this one. So out of 5 for taste. I think I'll score it first. I don't like cider. I'll tell you that now. But this is impressive. This is getting a 4 out of 5. Right away, this is very impressive. Straight out of the traps, this was good. So 4 out of 5 because it's nice and it heavies down the cider when cider is usually light and fizzy and aggressive. But this heavies it down quite nicely.
It also lifts the Guinness as well.
It does. It lifts the Guinness up and it creates a very nice balance.
Yeah. If you weren't willing to try Guinness, you could try this first and you kind of ease yourself into it. So for the taste, I'm very impressed with it and I've really enjoyed it. So I shall give it a 4 out of 5 as well for taste.
Right. I thought I'd hate this. This is actually quite good.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the combo score now. So how does it work as a combination? Well, it's got that nice line that we like. Even if it is a little small, it's pretty nice. And the Guinness has gone a very reddish colour, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Most of the carbonation remains in the cider, and it kind of lifts up into the Guinness. But the Guinness is not worse off for it.
Yeah.
But the big head pour, you'd think that most of the carbonation would be killed. So what do you give for the combo?
Well, for the combo, I'm very impressed. I think this has easily been my favourite combination so far, so I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5.
Very good. Like I said, I don't like cider, but this isn't about cider. This is about this combination, and I think this has worked very well. Yeah, the Guinness lends just enough heaviness and mouthfeel to tone the cider down to where it's just this sweet baseline taste, rather than a big appley crazy thing.
Yeah.
So I think for the combo, it's not flawless, but 4 out of 5 for me.
And now on to the compared. Well, as you can see, clear line, nice ruby colour. Another visual thing, the head retention, maybe not so great, but
yeah, the head retention is a bit naff.
But nevertheless, this is a really nice pint.
Yeah, this is, compared to the others, I mean, the others are, you know, some of them are nice and dense, or some of them have great combos, and some of them have these off-the-wall tastes that you didn't expect, like the Black and Trash. But this has just been, I think that I'd be much more inclined now to buy a cider to do this, which I think is very important with something like this. So I think for compared, I want to be mean and give it like a 3, but no, this deserves a 4. This is a good score. This is a good pint.
Well, for the compared, I mean, I'm not just going to give the score I'm going to give because of last week's episode, but out of all of them that we've had, this has really held up, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 for the compared.
Yeah. And Eamon will add up the scores now.
So this week David has scored a 12 out of 15.
And Eamon has scored a 13 out of 15, which is his second highest score, and my score is tied with my highest score so far, which is 12 out of 5, which I've given a 3. So I'm reluctant to rank this anything out of 5, just because I don't like cider. But that is kind of a prejudice thing, I suppose. But no, I think that this has worked well. I think this has put in a strong showing.
Yeah.
And it's definite improvement on last week.
Well, Bulmers ain't the best cider, but this has worked.
This has worked quite well, yeah.
So overall, I would say definitely give this a go.
Oh yes, do try it.
Go for this first if you're just trying out Black and Tans.
Yeah, and even if you're not a Guinness fan and you're a cider fan, maybe try this. This could warm you up to it a little bit. Anyway, we'll be back next week on
The Guinness Guys.
like about half that.
Yeah, well,
That is fucking lovely.
does the music play in your head too when you're doing this?